Hi, I'm Kathryn. This is Amy. Amy and I share an interest in vintage and contemporary self-help books. So we decided to make poems that incorporated the language of self-help through a collaboration process whereby we selected 5 or 6 key words that we associate with the self-help genre, such as sabotage, self-esteem, boundaries, frenemy, and X. And the poems that resulted were part found, part collage, and part narrative. I didn't get too far with the keywords because I became interested solely in the word X and wrote a poem in which X, or variations of X, is the single rhyme. Although I read a dozen or so books for the purpose of this commission, I was most inspired by the book Why Men Love Bitches, which in turn inspired my poem. So shall I read my poem first then? Okay. So the book, Why Men Love Bitches, urges you to be not a doormat, but a dream girl. My poem is called Doormats, Dream Girls, and the X. While the doormat asks neurotic questions about his ex, the dream girl looks at her watch if her man brings up the X. And if the man ever says, all men wanted to shag my ex, the dream girl doesn't ask for a photo. But if a photo of the X is provided, the dream girl won't demean the appearance of the X, no matter how disagreeable, because her man will only rush to his ex's defense. The lesson to learn is that when a man considers his ex a prize, looks have little to do with it, for when a woman acts like a prize, a man can literally forget he's with a battle axe. Now, what do you say when he asks questions about your ex? Remember, you're a prize, so you needn't report that your ex stole appliances, or defaulted on child support, or that your ex has a mafioso brother doing time for racketeering, or that your ex is still stalking you because your man will not find these ex stories charming if he's classy. So what you say about your ex is simply, we wanted different things, or alternatively, my ex and I went separate ways. It's none of his business, your ex and all the vicissitudes of your past, like the jewelry your ex gave you, which you pawned, or your fantasies about bludgeoning your ex, because inquiring minds don't need to know. Did you know that exes are a conversation topic on the golf course? You know my ex, the one who snapped, a man might say, referring to the terrible ex who was possessed by demons, thus causing his inevitable extramarital affair. Of course, he never had anything to do with his ex's transformation. He was a perfect angel, but lo and behold, an exorcist was suddenly required. Women believe these narratives and excoriate themselves unnecessarily, but love is infested by variables, and the dream girl must take control in this world of unknowns.
So my poem kind of riffs on self in the same way that Kathryn's does a bit on X. And it starts with a quote from Anais Nin. She lacks confidence, she craves admiration insatiably. She lives on the reflections of herself in the eyes of others. She does not dare to be herself. The boundaries between self-sabotage and self-nourishment have never been murkier. The self's underlying fear is too often a lapse in issues. The fear of being abandoned by yourself is mere epidemic. No is golden, but your fucked up self will try to tell you otherwise. We all have to learn how to derail our inner critic, the self-saboteur at the heart of things. Your inner critic has no interest in your nourishment, self-care being the domain of your adult self, assuming your adult self is up to scratch. Traumas either clear-cut, such as joining the ranks of crazy bitches, or less obvious, such as perceived happiness, will make you forget yourself and cause your boundaries to become gravely askew. It is hard to free yourself from an emotional death grip. Tell yourself, it's time I stopped being willing. Ask yourself, what is my bedrock? Is it your outer adult, your inner child, your outer child, your inner voice? If one or all of these selves are calling the shots, you are your own frenemy. Your subconscious self has countless tricks to sabotage your conscious self. For example, continuing to fuck someone, doodling in your diary the same old pattern, low self-worth, behaving like a pseudo-adult. Take a self-appreciation holiday. Take a tour of the upside. Build a fortress around your best self. Leave your worst selves to peril. When you hear them shouting from the ornamental moat of your self-esteem, ghost them. Institute a no-contact rule with your worst self. No to selves that nibble away like mice in the circuitry of your dreams. No to selves that regurgitate issues like it will nourish you to eat them. No to selflessness. It is the opposite of self-help. Sabotage is often disguised as your own true self. But beware, your own true self, once loosened from the teen crush calamity of self-loathing, self-doubt and self-deception, if you dare to be her, may it be in herself a saboteur.